You're tuned in to Reverse Reset Restore, the ultimate destination for self-care enthusiasts and anyone looking to improve their mental, emotional, and physical well-being. I'm your host, Sally. Join me as we dive deep into the world of self-care practices and strategies that can truly transform your life. Change comes from within. Hello and welcome to Reverse Reset Restore. This episode is a little bit of a deviation from our usual weekly episodes. I want to let you know about an exciting series of episodes coming up in October. Here in Australia, October is Mental Health Awareness Month. This year's theme for 2023 is We All Have a Role to Play. I'm a big mental health advocate. I know what it's like to be mentally unwell and also how to support others and their mental health. I'm trained in mental health first aid and it's a strong focus of my counselling training. With that in mind, I have planned a series of episodes for every day in the month of October. We'll be looking at how you can implement some self-care practices into your life. Drum roll, please. It's the 31 Days of Self-Care program. 31 days for you to self-care, all for you. Because you are worth it. Maybe you've forgotten that. Maybe it seems impossible in your all too busy life to squeeze in any time for you. Maybe somewhere along the line you got told that all this doing and being is necessary to be a good person, a productive person, a good parent or partner or worker or father. That your value lies in giving out. That anything that is just for you is wrong. As I mentioned, this year's focus for Mental Health Awareness Month here in Australia is the theme, We All Have a Role to Play. It's a focus on making the world free from mental health stigma and more inclusive for people who are going through tough times. Admirable, important, essential focus. I believe that in order to be able to do any of that effectively, that role starts with us learning how to look after ourselves and our mental, physical, and emotional well-being. If you're anything like me, you've probably got yourself into this nice little pattern of putting everyone and everything else first, and you've become an afterthought in your own life. Perhaps, if you're like me, you've burnt yourself out doing this. I used to equate looking after myself, or more to the point, giving time to myself to do anything that I enjoyed or even wanted or needed, as a selfish thing to do. I was raised as a Christian, and so I have inherently taken on board this idea that self-care was selfish, and selfishness is unchristian or ungodly. And so selfish became, at least for me, something wrong and bad and, or I guess, sinful. Oh, how I am so glad to be free of that thinking. Because this is where you end up having no boundaries, you're people-pleasing, and running around like a headless chicken trying to appease everyone else and their needs and wants. There are selfish, narcissistic, all-about-me people in the world for sure. We can spot them from a mile away. I am not one of those people, and you probably aren't either. But maybe, like me, you've struggled with the idea of what selfishness means, and as a consequence, have a really hard time doing anything just for you. Also, we live in a world that has set us up to believe that our priorities should be our jobs and our kids, not knocking kids as a priority, and other things first. We, as a person ourselves, sit very low on that list. So people feel guilty taking time off work, even if they're really sick or they're owed a much-deserved vacation. Or they feel guilty for leaving their kids even for a few hours to do something for themselves, as though it's a reflection on their parenting. I have a friend who hasn't gone and got their hair cut by a professional for years because they feel guilty to spend the money on themselves rather than their child. I don't know how many times I dragged myself in sick as a dog to work because of this need to not let other people down. I wanted to be seen as the team player, the person that was there despite all odds. It was probably my own personal desire to be the martyr, because I've definitely reflected upon how much I personally got something out of playing that superwoman or martyr role. My point is that I think all of us are probably really good at downplaying our own needs, wants, and desires, demeaning, belittling, and outright silencing ourselves for these grand gestures as parents, employees, or self-sacrificial lambs. In my experience, there is very little payoff in the long run for doing any of these things. The jobs I gave my all to, well, I was just a number, another worker bee. I was trapped in this idea that my job defined me and that my work ethic was seen and valued. After my recent redundancy and the reality check in its aftermath, I've had time to reflect on just how much of myself I gave away, all for solid and good reasons. But it was ultimately unnecessary, unappreciated by my employer, and damaging to my mental and physical self. Reflection is such an important aspect of personal growth. Painful situations offer so much opportunity to learn. They just generally don't feel like it at the time, do they? 31 days of self-care may sound like a bananas, unrealistic, unachievable thing to do. This is going to be a challenge for a lot of us. I am asking you for 31 days to consistently do something for you so that you can be all you need to be in the rest of your life. Most of the episodes are going to be short, less than 10 minutes of listening, but that is only part of the program. The rest relies on you. And some of the daily tasks or suggestions may not apply or may not be something that interests you or may even force you outside of your comfort zone and stir up some uncomfortable feelings. Try them anyway. Give this gift to yourself. Be the experimental guinea pig of testing new ideas and concepts out to see if they work for you. Ultimately, only you can decide if you're going to try something suggested or even implement it into your life beyond the month of October, or whenever you may listen to this, because self-care should always be a thing you practice any time of the year. You are worth the chance to find a strategy that challenges and changes you. I've recently started some new practices that I'll be talking about in episodes later in the year for sure. And they are a little out there, but already I cannot deny the profound impact they have had in my life, mind, body, and soul. A lot of the exercises or strategies and techniques I share over the course of this 31 days of self-care program are ones I have really incorporated into my life with amazing results. They have made me a more complete version of who I am. If you find the ones that resonate with you strongly, I'm sure you'll have a similar experience. So how is it going to work? I've structured it into topics that repeat over the course of the month. There are 7 different topics to cover each day of the week. I'll give you the whole list and then we'll break each one down. So we've got Soulful Sundays, Mindful Mondays, Talk Tuesdays, Wellness Wednesdays, Thankful Thursdays, Fitness Fridays, and Stress Less Saturdays. Here's what you can expect for each topic. October kicks off on a Sunday this year, so we are kicking off with Soulful Sundays. This topic for all 5 Sundays will focus on things like creativity, reading, journaling, creating meaningful song playlists, and creative writing. This day is all about connecting to your creative side to allow your soul to find joy and peace in that form of expression. Mindful Mondays are opportunities to try some different meditation or mindfulness practices. I'll take you through a mindful wander, sensory meditation, water meditation, and different ways you can utilize a mindful minute throughout your day. Our Talk Tuesdays are all about encouraging you to speak up, check in, or ask for help. We'll even go through how to have those tough conversations around mental health, how to play your part in helping others, and writing a letter to your future self. Wellness Wednesdays are about offering ways to connect to your body through holistic practices such as body tapping or emotional freedom technique EFT, the important role that sunshine plays in your life, yoga work, and breathing techniques. Every Thursday is an opportunity to practice some gratitude with Thankful Thursdays. Here we'll write gratitude lists, celebrate the small wins in our daily lives, consider how we can play our part in helping others through random acts of kindness, and reminding ourselves about the value of laughter. Fitness Fridays are another opportunity to be present with our bodies. We'll go on adventure walks, do coin toss workouts, and dance like no one's watching. This is all about moving our bodies in ways that feel good and loving, not punishing or feeling forced by societal pressures to exercise our guts out. And on Saturdays, we'll be finding ways to stress less. This is our practical day of self-care. So the focus is on what we can change around us to change within us. From a digital detox to decluttering our space the Marie Kondo way, we'll look at how self-care also expands to the way we live our lives. I hope you're feeling as excited as I am about the upcoming 31-day program. It's going to be a fun, loving, and experimental way to look at how we're currently practicing self-care and if there are other things that maybe could be beneficial for us to start including more in our lives. I can't wait to share together the next 31 days. Be sure to follow this podcast so you don't miss a day. And even if you miss days here and there, no worries. Just pick up when and where you can. There's no expectation that you must do all 31 days. They're there for you to try if you want to. I'd encourage you to do as many as you can and see what works for you and what maybe doesn't. There are no doubt going to be some things that you love and some things that you're going to be like, okay, tried it and never want to do it again. And that's okay. This is about giving yourself permission to explore what feels right for you. Be sure to let me know if any of the things I've mentioned have sparked your interest and what they are. You can do that on the Reverse Reset Restore Facebook page or via the Reverse Reset Restore Insta page. I'll also be providing some hashtags for those keen to share on many of the daily challenges, and I cannot wait to see what you come up with. I'd love to hear from you, so feel free to reach out and let me know your thoughts on this upcoming program, or perhaps if you have a topic you'd like us to cover in an episode of Reverse Reset Restore. Whether it's taking time to care for yourself, caring for someone close to you, supporting your community to be more mental health aware, or being a mental health ally, this program is about ways you can connect with yourself and then in turn connect with others around you. What roles will you play? And particularly, what role will you allow yourself to play for you? As always, we end our episode with a quote. This comes from Lala Delia, who says so succinctly about self-care that self-care is how you take your power back.